Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. Joseph says start already. You couldn't be more accurate, Joseph. I nearly called you Stuart because you said start. Yeah, we need to start early because I'm telling you what, Twitter went down. I was panicking, and also any minute we're going to announce we're going to get Done Deal or David Ornstein. So we do need to crack on with the show. We do a 2 o'clock show, and I'm not going to not do it, but we might end up ending it early or something like that. But then again, it's been like it for 3 hours. I've been expecting it, so we'll have to wait and see. But hope we're all doing well. Lots to get into. There's been a price hike. I mean, it's a big story. If we weren't waiting on Lisandro Martinez, it's actually a really big story we're going to be talking about in relation to Frenkie de Jong. But first of all, if you're not aware of what's going on with Lisandro Martinez, we have agreed a fee of £46 million. It's around 50 to 55 million euros, I think, the entire package, but about £46 million if you deal with your transfers in pounds, which we seem to be. Brexit means Brexit. We're not in Europe and we're not in the Euro, so I don't know when football transfer fees in the UK started being spoken about in euros. I don't know whether you've known. It's a video in itself. Since when did football transfer fees start being spoken about in euros? We deal in pounds in the UK. It is very confusing, but I think obviously we're buying players from Europe. That's why. And also, this is coming in from Mike Verway as well. If everything goes to plan, Lisandro Martinez will join Manchester United's squad for the on tour next weekend, which I think he means this weekend. What I was told is we've got a new kit coming out on Monday. So we've got a new kit coming out on Saturday. United would ideally like to be announcing Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez officially for the new kit. Get them on the plane, get them over to Australia early next week. They get 4 or 5 days training with the team and maybe get involved in the Villa game, then come back. So that's what we're looking at with that. Any minute now, that's going to get announced. De Jong in United is like Mark and Pineapple Man, says Parshu. Well, I've got my T-shirt on. So where are we with Frenkie de Jong? So there's been a change, effectively. This is a big story. So fasten your seatbelts here. So effectively, the price has changed for Frenkie de Jong. We've got a new de Jong fee agreed. Now, it was about 2 weeks ago. We did a video saying that the fee had been agreed, and everybody said it was 65 million euros, which is about 56 million pounds. It's now gone up to 75 million euros, which is 65 million pounds. It's funny, isn't it? I'm not going to take any credit here, but weeks ago I was saying this deal will get done for 75 million euros. And, some people didn't want to agree, and some people said, oh no, it's going to be 65 million euros. And ultimately I've been proven right. Now, I've not been proven right all along. What's happened is that Barcelona have dug their feet in because they want 75 million euros up front, which is 65 million quid. So we have changed the fee. And whatever you think about that, it has changed. And why is it changed? Why did we agree a fee with Barcelona a couple of weeks ago for 65 million euros? And why has it gone up to 75 million euros? And the heavy suspicion is, from the conversations I've been having, and I thought it myself anyway, is that why is Frenkie de Jong not signing for Manchester United? Because he's owed money by Barcelona. We effectively are taking over some of the cost for Barcelona. They owe Frenkie de Jong 15 million euros. We've just upped our price by 10 million euros. So we were always going to pay 85 million euros all in. 85 million euros was always what we were going to pay. It was going to be 65 plus 20 in add-ons. It's now going to be 75 up front plus 10 in add-ons. It impacts on our transfer budget. It's 10 million pounds more than we were going to have to spend this summer, but the overall cost will remain at 85 million euros, but we're just giving them more up front. So technically we don't lose out, but we do lose out on our budget for the summer. If our budget this summer is 150 million quid, instead of spending 56 million pounds on Frenkie de Jong, we're now spending 65 million pounds on Frenkie de Jong. So it's a little bit more money. But ultimately, the deal will get done. Clint, welcome to the Members Club. And the reason we're doing this, and I still agree with JR. I still think for 25-year-old Frenkie de Jong to get him in for 85 million euros in the current market is a good deal. I do believe that. I'd like it to have been a little bit cheaper, but it's still a good deal. I'm not disputing that. But the reason this fee is agreed is because de Jong's got the power. He's owed money by Barcelona, and he wants that money. Barcelona don't want to pay that money, and they've made that stance. And United have had to go over there and say, "We'll give you more money." That's basically it. Up front, we'll have to give them more money to pay to Frenkie de Jong. So, in a way, I'm not really that fussed, but we are giving them more money up front now from a deal that was agreed 2 weeks ago, because basically they've got to give some of that money to Frenkie de Jong. And Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United. I had the T-shirt on Tuesday night. I've got it on today. Frenkie de Jong is coming to Manchester United. Barcelona fans, you can moan all you like. Man United fans, you can be scared all you like, but I've never not had faith in this deal, which is amazing considering who it is we support and who does our deals. But I've always believed this deal was going to happen because it makes no sense. Why would Frenkie de Jong want to come to Manchester United? Why would we spend 2 months working on this deal? And the reality is, the reason he wants to come to Manchester United is because of Erik ten Hag, and I don't think anything's changed. I know Ten Hag wants de Jong, but shouldn't we be putting plans in place for Tielemans and Neves, so if the deal doesn't happen, we aren't taking another month to negotiate, says Sean Turner. I'm sure we've got contingency plans, but in fairness, we've got Lisandro Martinez and Arsenal wanted him. Barcelona have got Rafinha and Arsenal wanted him, but on Tielemans, he wants to go to Arsenal over us. So, you know, we can all take the piss out of Arsenal for us getting Lisandro Martinez, but Tielemans wants to go to Arsenal. So unless we can change his mind and actually put a bid in, that's where we are with that. And Frenkie de Jong, new kit will be unveiled at Fed Square in Melbourne at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Get an email from Adidas today, and I'm from Melbourne, says Damon. I think it's on Saturday that's happening, Damon. I don't think it's happening tomorrow, but maybe you're right. Given our lack of midfield depth and quality, shouldn't we go for Tielemans over Antony, says Hashir. And it's good that we're getting progressions on the Martinez and de Jong deal. United need to move fast and get Ten Hag the signings he needs to work with, says Therese. Thank you very much. And thanks for being a member for 2 months, by the way. If you want to join the members club, you can do. So, the reality is, and Fabrizio got a bit of crap for this, to be fair, because people were saying it's not even an update. But it is an update. I can't believe people didn't think it was an update. You have to read the fine print. It is an update. We did agree a deal 2 weeks ago. Why are we agreeing a deal 2 weeks later? Because we've changed the fee. We're paying more money now up front because they need to release money to de Jong. So effectively, it'll go into his pocket, won't it? So, but at least it gives some people a little bit more confidence around the Frenkie de Jong deal, because I think some people are losing confidence on this deal. Not everyone is like myself, wearing t-shirts with Frenkie goes to Manchester on it. Thoughts on Zinchenko to City, says Bobby. I think it's a good deal, but we're not a City channel. And he's going to Arsenal, by the way. Afternoon, Mark. Honestly, don't even know if I can get excited. Really got tickets to the game in Melbourne. No de Jong, no Ronaldo, and no Martinez, says William Brown. No, you still have, you still have some of the old school players there, your Sanchos, your Rashfords, your Martials, Brunos, maybe see a bit of Donny as well, maybe some of the young lads. It'll still be worthwhile, but I do feel sorry for some of the fans out in Thailand and Australia, because you don't get to watch these players live, and I think Ronaldo's the big miss, and some of the new signings would have been nice, but we have been a little bit unprepared. Will Martinez play next to Frenkie de Jong in the midfield, says ABC? Nope, he's being bought as a centre-back. I mean, he may well play in the midfield, but he's being bought as a centre-back, and I think, unfortunately, we do get this square peg in round holes mentality at United, and I think you've just been indoctrinated into the Glazers cheapskate-ism, because why do people talk about Lindelof playing as a CDM? Why do you talk about Wan-Bissaka playing as a centre-back? Why do you have this hunger to put people out of position? We've got massive revenues. We should be buying specialists, and we should be buying the midfielders we need, and buying the centre-backs we need, and buying the full-backs we need. Lisandro Martinez has been brought in as a centre-back. If he plays in CDM in the future, because he can play there, then maybe that'll happen. But he's being bought as a centre-back. Kenton Proctor, done deal, says Nathan. Imagine if they were real. My mate Matt still thinks de Jong isn't happening, thinks it's going to be another Jadon Sancho from 2 years ago. Can you call him a prat, says Ben. Matt the prat. Look, I'm not 100% on Frenkie de Jong, but I've never dropped from 90%, which is very high. I think some people think at times this deal's not going to happen. I've had Drawty messaging me saying it's not going to happen. I just said, I think it is. I've never really seen any reason not to be confident about this. And I think the fact that if you weren't confident, I'd take that and be even more confident. The fact that the price has changed from 2 weeks ago and that we're now going to give them more money shows you that we have been over in Barcelona negotiating a way for them to give Frenkie de Jong the money that he's owed. Because basically what's happened here is Barcelona wanted to take 56 million from our 65 million euro offer and use it to buy players. They can't afford to give Frenkie de Jong the money he's owed. So what's happened now is that we're giving him a little bit more extra money and saying, use this extra money that you weren't going to get to pay Frenkie de Jong off. Mark, you think if we can't get Antony, we might reassess our plans and bring a second midfielder or a right back, says Anurag? Maybe. If you can't get a player for whatever reason, you should always try and solve another problem. Yeah, you're right. Big Benno, welcome to the Members Club. Mark, when is the shirt on sale, says Matt Taylor? This will be on sale. United Stand Shopify. I think the link's in the chat. It is in the chat if you want to check out some of our merch, but I don't think this is on sale yet because, yeah, we haven't signed him yet. I'm worried about United. It's a prototype. I'm worried about United realising stories that Ten Hag needs to use Martial to save us. I'm going to talk about that, Sean Turner, in a minute. And Barca have told Frenkie he has to leave via United plug on Twitter, says McAlvis. Big shout out for United plug there. So if you are tuning in a little bit late, let me just explain this scenario. So United had agreed a fee with Barcelona 2 weeks ago for 65 million euros, which I think is about 56 million quid. With that 65 million euros, they were going to use it to buy Lewandowski or whoever. Frenkie de Jong has said, I'm not going to leave because you owe me 15 million. And Barcelona have said, well, we haven't got the 15 million. So Man United have said, so how do we solve this then? And Barcelona go, well, we want to use the 65 million to buy players. So United have gone, well, we're going to give you 85 million anyway in add-ons. What if we give you another 10 of the add-ons now and you use that 10 to pay Frenkie? And that's all that's happened here. We're not actually paying any more on the overall price because the overall price has always been 85 million, including add-ons. But what we were going to do was 65 now and 20 in add-ons. We're now doing 75 now and 10 in add-ons, which gives them another 10 million euros, which they can do to pay Frenkie, which frees Frenkie up, and everything rolls on. That's basically what United have done. Who are the other left-footed options? Loving the show as always, says Alexander. So yeah, look, that's where we are with Frenkie, and it's developing nicely. Let's have a look. Apparently, David Ornstein has just tweeted something, so I'm just going to check here. We're waiting. Man United are in total agreement with Barcelona for a 75 million plus 10 million in add-ons deal for Frenkie de Jong. Player side still unresolved. That's from David Ornstein. So that's literally coming in the last 3 minutes. David, we want a bloody Lisandro Martinez deal done. We don't want you repeating Fabrizio. They're like a bloody echo, them two. One of them tweets, then the other one tweets the same, or one tweets and then the other one tweets. I think I did that one, then that one twice, didn't I? There. So yeah, that's where we are with that. But it is smart. In many ways, it's smart business. But it could use up money from our budget. If our budget's 120 and we were going to spend 60 on Frenkie de Jong, we're now spending a little bit more, which could come off the budget. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, look. Somebody had to do something, and United have done something about it. It was a bit of a three-way where no one will take their pants off. I'm sorry to be crude, but it's true. And now what? You'd never hear that on Match of the Day, would you? And I think what's happening here is there's three people who want to do some business together, and they're all a bit shy. And Frenkie's saying, "You take yours off." Well, let's move away from that. But effectively, Frenkie's owed 15 million. Barcelona want their 65, and United are going to pay 65. And then United have just gone, well, we'll give you 75 of the 85 and give 10 to Frenkie. It's sorted. Everybody's happy, and they're all having a threesome. So there you go. That's what's happening. If you want the technicalities of what's happened, we were always paying 85 million euros anyway in add-ons. We're just giving them 10 more than what we were going to pay them. There we go. So Frenkie de Jong. I suppose the big question is, when will this deal get done? And again, I will say, how long is a piece of string? Lisandro Martinez, Eriksen, I expect them to be on the tour early next week. Frenkie de Jong, I just don't know, because it just feels like it's the sort of deal that another hurdle will come. I believe we will hurdle it in the end and we will get to the finishing line, but I don't know how many more hurdles there are going to be to manoeuvre over. Somebody mentioned this before. I just want to very, very quickly talk about this. It sort of came out towards the end of our morning show, actually, with Antony to Manchester United looking unlikely due to Ajax's valuation. United chiefs believe that reviving Martial's career can save them a fortune this summer. I mean, this just makes me want to throw up. It's a disgrace, and I think United have the habit of doing this, or should I be more specific, the Glazers have the habit of doing this. They will actually drag deals out and then hype them so that we all get excited about a deal that should have been done a month ago and forget about the rest of the deals that needed to be done. We could end up in a situation this transfer window where we buy Malacia, Eriksen, De Jong and Martinez, and that's our summer. I'm sorry, it's not enough. A left back, another attacking midfielder, one midfielder and a centre back is not enough. They're all good players and they're all very welcome, but it's not enough. It's like last year. Varane, Ronaldo, Sancho, very good, but where was the midfielder? And I think we're hurtling towards that again. And what annoys me about this update is that when Erik ten Hag came into the club in the middle of May, he thought Ronaldo was staying, and he told them to get Antony to play off the right wing to put crosses into Ronaldo. We're now hearing nonsense that if we don't get Antony, Martial's his replacement. Martial's a centre forward, and Antony Martial is a left-footed winger. And Antony was asked for in the summer when we thought Ronaldo was going to stay. So how is Antony Martial going to play off the right wing and whip crosses in with his left foot? How is he a replacement for Antony? I mean, it's just typical Glazenomics that we can't afford to buy the players we said we were going to get, so let's pretend that a player that is already here can solve that problem. If Ronaldo stays, Ronaldo, Martial, Rashford and Sancho is not enough. It's 4 good players for 6 positions. Yes, we've got Alanga and we have got some young players, but it's not enough. And we need more than that. So this Antony deal still needs to happen, in my opinion. Do you see us getting CDM or going with Fred and McTominay into the season? Love from South Africa, says Mohammed. At this moment in time, I don't really think we're going to get a second midfielder. There's not a lot of noise about it. There is plenty of options, and there's plenty of cheap options. Lema's about 20 million quid. Sangari's about 25 million quid. Tillemans is about 30 million quid. So normally you'd expect to get a player like that for about 40, 50 million. So there are bargains to be had, but I think we're just going to be limited by the budget. I think there's going to be a budget limitation that's going to cause problems for us. So yeah, I think that I don't see us getting a second midfielder, even though we're in a weird situation where there's some really good options out there for very reasonable prices. Hi Mark, what do you think will be your ideal midfield going forward with Frenkie de Jong signing, says Tristan. Look, my ideal midfield for Manchester United is Frenkie de Jong and a new midfielder. I mean, out of what we've got, I'd love James Garner to be, you know, the next Steven Gerrard. I'd love him to be brilliant, and you play Garner and de Jong. I'd love that to happen. I believe Frenkie de Jong can play in a midfield too. I just don't know whether you've got the defensive capabilities in de Jong to play there. So with Garner and de Jong, I'm being a bit of a fantasist. With McTominay and de Jong, I just can't stand the idea of that. And I don't really like the idea of Fred and de Jong. Remember, we're trying to build a team to win titles. So I think it'll end up being, I think the best one we've got with any certainty is probably Fred and de Jong. But I want a lot better than that. I mean, even if we're playing Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal, I don't think Fred and de Jong really, I mean, you can see where the weakness is in a Fred and de Jong midfield. I think we should be having a de Jong and a Tillemans, or a de Jong and a Lema, or something like that. I want 2 midfielders. I've always wanted 2 midfielders. Matic and Pogba need replacing, not just Matic. So, yeah, I still believe we need 2 midfielders, and I will say it at the end of the transfer window as well. We don't get everything you want in life. There's next summer. Give youth a chance, says Sulai. Oh, the Glazers bloody love you, mate. The Glazers will love you. They'll promote you to CEO. I think they think in Antony is Antony Martial, says Mikael Roach. And Mark, since we're spending an extra 10 million up front for de Jong, do you think we won't get a forward now, says Usman. Well, you know what? We've got to be demanding as fans. I mean, to be fair, Lisandro Martinez and Frenkie de Jong and Christian Eriksen all should have been done 2 weeks ago. And we should now be talking about Antony. We're playing into the Glazers' hands. I'm doing it. You're doing it. We're getting excited about deals that should have been done 2 weeks ago. And the longer these deals take, the less time there is to go and do other deals. Because we're going to be hyped off the back of Frenkie de Jong and Lisandro Martinez for the next week or so. And then the season nearly starts. And when the season starts, people think, maybe we'll get a little bargain right back. Like, we really should be working on Antony by now. De Jong 65 million, Martinez 43 million, Malacia 12 million, Eriksen 3. That's our summer done. That's our budget of 120 million gone. Need our outgoings for any more signings, says Sean Turner. Yeah, I think you might be right, Sean, and it's not enough, is it? It really isn't. Hi, Mark. How do you think the 5 subs rule will affect Ten Hag next season? Which players do you think should be rotated to save them for important games, says Rohit? Well, I don't think you need to be rotated. I think 5 subs actually makes rotation less important, because when you're making 5 subs, you can basically bring 5 players on. Wow, I sound like Michael Owen. Clip that. Another Michael Owenism. But, you know, when you can make 5 subs, it means that most players shouldn't really be playing more than 70 minutes, because you can get them off and rotate that way in game. Which is why I'm a little bit worried. I don't think 5 subs helps us a lot when we haven't got 5 forwards. Like, we've got 3 forwards starting every game, 1 off the right, 1 off the left, and 1 up front, and we can use 5 subs. Now, this is the season where having Cavani and Martial would have been okay, because you've got 2 strikers on the bench and there's plenty of rotation. But I don't feel we've got enough rotation in the attack or the midfield at the moment. You think Martinez is delayed because of the problems at Amsterdam Airport, or will he take the ferry, says Mac. I don't know about the airport problems, but that shouldn't stop deal done. We don't need... remember, you don't need Martinez in Manchester. You're talking about official announcement. I'm talking about deal done. Deal done will be done before he's even in Manchester. We should get that any minute. Garner like Steven Gerrard. Why not like Paul Scholes, says geeky stuff. Well, look, whatever. Gerrard was a good midfielder. Scholes was a good midfielder. I don't think Garner's like either of them, to be fair. I was just saying, I wouldn't mind a Steven Gerrard type as long as he hasn't got a Scouse accent. I know it's unlikely, but could Iqbal play next to De Jong, says Jason? It's unlikely. And it's not helpful. We shouldn't be doing that. I have very strong opinions on this, and some people are very different. They're like, oh, if you're young enough, you're good enough. And then I go, but did you ever see a young player being thrown into the midfield for Manchester United playing straight away? Nicky Butt sort of did do it on and off, but it's difficult to throw them in, and you've got to have a bloody... I mean, Nicky Butt used to do it with Ince and Keane. It's difficult to throw someone like Iqbal into a team that, let's not forget, we've got a new manager and it's very exciting, but our last few competitive results were losses. I want Iqbal to play for the first team. I want Charlie Savage to play for the first team. I want Charlie McNeil. I want Garnacho. I want them all to play. But I also want them to be nurtured in the right way. I saw a lot of stuff last season thrown at Alanga that I didn't like. Like, people were writing him off. He might not be good enough, but he's still a young player. And I don't know whether we've got the patience in the fan base at the moment to nurture players when we're trying to nurture the team as well. Looks like we're going for a right back next. Who do you think we should go for, says Sam? Well, we want Dumfries. But how will an extra 10 million for the De Jong deal affect the rollout of Glazer's dividends, says Stephen? And welcome to the Members Club, Nikolai. Well, I have got a couple of updates to bring you as well, just before I talk about something else. Barcelona have told Frenkie de Jong that he has to leave the club, blah, blah, blah. Apparently they've told him today of their wishes to sell him. I'm surprised he hasn't realised that. I don't think it'll be... If I was Frenkie de Jong today and Barcelona were telling me that they want to sell him and he's got to go, I would have gone, slow sports news. Oh, breaking news. Let me get in my yellow tie and my crunchy nut cornflakes and drive round the new camp in my Audi. Slow sports news. Barcelona want to sell Frenkie de Jong. Do you think I'm fucking stupid or something, Jimmy? What? Who do you think I am? I've got internet on my phone. I've seen this for 2 months. Slow sports news, get out. I don't think Frenkie de Jong's going to be that surprised that Manchester United are looking to sell him. Sorry, not us. We don't want to sell him yet. I don't think he's going to be that surprised that Barcelona are looking to sell him, to be fair. But we have had an update from James Robson I just wanted to bring in, because I think he's been pretty good this summer. I remember a couple of weeks ago he put an article out and I was like, I was told that. So he's obviously getting relatively good information. He says, Man United are finally closing in on a deal to sign Frenkie de Jong. They've agreed to pay up to £71 million. It is believed that the structure of the deal is 63 million up front plus add-ons, which is, I think, about 70 million euros, isn't it? So we have increased it. Personal terms have to be agreed with Frenkie de Jong, but those negotiations are expected to be concluded swiftly. You see, James is spot on here. I know we've heard from other outlets that we haven't agreed personal terms, but James is absolutely spot on, because this is what I was on about a couple of weeks ago. So James Robson, again, he's obviously getting very similar information, because he's saying that personal terms have got to be agreed officially, but those negotiations are expected to be concluded swiftly. Personal terms are not going to be a problem with Frenkie de Jong. He knows what we're offering, and his agent knows what we're offering, and they're very happy with that. They just need signing off. There's not going to be massive negotiations. Some people are talking about it like Frenkie de Jong's going to be moaning about the personal terms for a month. Personal terms are fine. He knows what wages he's getting, and it's above 300 grand. Verbal agreement between Manchester United and Ajax for Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, we know about that. A new right back is on Erik ten Hag's shortlist as he looks to upgrade on Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. Keep your eye on this one. I've told you before. Keep your eye on this one. Remember what I said about Sterling? I was way ahead of the game with that one. Remember what I said about Darwin Nunez? I was way ahead of the game about that one. Remember what I said about Frenkie de Jong's wages? You'll see, way ahead on that one. Listen to this one. Wan-Bissaka, I reckon we've got a buyer. I do. I think we've got a buyer for Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka's going. I think he's being sold. I definitely think he's going on loan, but I've got a feeling he might be going on. We might sell him. So keep an eye on that, and we will buy a right back if that happens. I think Wan-Bissaka's on his way out. I really do. I might be completely wrong on that, but from what I was told a few days ago, I think we might be getting rid of Wan-Bissaka, and I think he knows it, and I think the club know it. Mark, we've already got Dividendino to play alongside De Jong. Stop moaning, says Charlie. Keep up the good work, Mark. Erik ten Hag targets are starting to become reality. Let's get this great club moving in the right direction together, says Mark. Thank you very much. Brendan, welcome to the Members Club. And the 5-sub rule is really going to hurt us in the big games. The media and ex-players who are quiet now will start asking why we didn't get more in, says Jake. That's a conversation for next season, isn't it? I mean, we do know that the media wanted Poch over Ten Hag. I feel that they're starting to move more comfortably towards him, but The important thing is, this summer transfer window is really to monitor the behaviour of the Glazers, isn't it? How much are they going to spend on a new manager? How many problems are they going to solve? This analogy that I always throw out, there's a dinghy, we're on it with Ten Hag, and there's sharks circling, right? There's holes in the dinghy, and we're desperately trying to keep the water out so we don't sink. The Glazers have got the ability to fill those holes and allow us to escape. Last summer, they filled a few holes, but not enough for us to get away. This summer, how many holes are you going to fill? I can still see centre midfield having a hole in it, even if we get De Jong. The attack has got a hole in it if we don't get Antony. Are they going to fill those holes? Let's wait and see. Ryan Riddler, thank you and welcome to the Members Club. Mark, if we don't get Antony, can't United buy Tielemans for 30 to 40 million, says Shiam. I would hope that if we don't get at the end of the day, if we don't buy Antony because we can't afford 80 million euros, 80 million euros is about 65 million quid. So it means we've got we must have 50 million quid then. How much short are we from... What would we buy Antony for? I think we'd buy Antony for 50 million, which means we've got 50 million. So don't not get Antony and walk away. Use the 50 million, like you say, on another problem and keep Antony for next summer. We've still got to spend that money. We can't just go, we didn't get Antony, which is what the Glazers probably will do, because he'll think, ooh, dividendino. Is it really worth 300k on wages? Also, when he's cooking for Goldbridge returning, says Late. When I get some bloody time, mate, I'm strapped at the moment. I'm absolutely exhausted. I just want to say, actually, to everybody, my son Seb's got chicken pox at the moment, so he's at home. Obviously, Adam and Ryan are on the tour. Beth's in New York, so we're doing loads of content. We're working our bloody arse off. I'm the only one who really can jump in front of the camera at the moment. There's loads of stuff going on. Mentally drained. You know, I'm always quite open about mental health as well, and it has been a really draining few days. And I just want to thank everybody who watches the channel and supports the channel and is pure and honest, because there's a lot of toxic people out there who spread a lot of crap about you. And I just ignore it because I've had this for 7 years. But I do think it's very important at times just to jump in and surprise you and say thank you very much for all your support. Because actually getting live and talking about the thing that I love, which is Manchester United, with this community is real respite for my mental state. And also I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, which is I don't normally do. So I just want to say, on a personal note, I probably don't do it enough. Well, I do, but really... it's important to me. I don't think I explain it enough what you give to me, which is this positivity, and on camera doesn't always reflect what's going on behind the camera. It's a challenge. There's a lot of challenges going on at the moment, so I would just want to thank everybody for their support, because when I go live I can get involved in arguments. I can be quite debatable, and some people think he's a bit of a knobhead sometimes, but that's because I'm in my zone. Reality is, when I'm off live, all the challenges of real life that you've all got are very much real. I stub my toe on the coffee table. I get down. I get depressed. I get fed up about things. So thank you for your support. It does mean a lot, and I think it's important to say that sometimes. Chelsea have decided against signing Cristiano Ronaldo. So this was a brief, just very, very quickly, and I will be brief on this. This was a brief. I was told about this at about 9 o'clock this morning, and I thought it was really weird. I'd love to tell you who told me about it, but I don't know whether they're allowed to. So at 9 o'clock this morning, I got a message from somebody saying that there's meant to be a story coming out at midday that Chelsea have declined to sign Ronaldo. And I thought, that's really weird. And then at midday, and I think I mentioned it on the morning show as well. So, but at midday, everybody said that Chelsea declined Ronaldo. So Romano said it, a load of other people said it. So that was embargoed. Or something like that. That was actually a brief that Ronaldo had been declined by Chelsea. So we can take that, and the positive is we can take it as read, because it's very weird. But it was definitely, so many journalists mentioned it at midday. It was definitely a brief. So look, it's up to Chelsea. I'm very pleased. I think that Ronaldo at Chelsea would, as I've said, be brilliant. He'd score a lot of goals, and Chelsea are missing a striker like that. But I'm glad they don't want him, because I want him to stay at United. And also, if he does leave United, I don't want him in the Premier League. So I think the only place he could have gone to was Chelsea. So the fact is that Cristiano Ronaldo will be in the Premier League with Man United next season, or he'll be elsewhere. Donato says, ignore the hate, Mark. These shows get me through my work days every single day. We appreciate the work you put in. Hey, it's a two-way street, Donato, so thank you very much. Mark, can't believe Ronaldo would have gone down this road unless he had been advised that there were other clubs after him, hoping he's going to stay, says Ronald. We need a cultural reset, one marquee signing. We are trusting a single player to turn our team around. I think that's an interesting observation, Andrew, and we've spoken about it. Day off bridge, says D. Hopkins. Robert, thank you very much for your chat. Love your marks, says Ayush. Love you right back. Have you ever taken dividends out of the United stand, says D. Coulter. Yeah. You know, Drawty's always saying to me, I need a new Mac. You know, the graphics, they're going to all fall around. It's all going to fall apart in a minute. You know, the green screen's got a hole in it. You're going to be sat there doing it off your Nokia phone in a bit. And I'm like, I don't care. I've got to take my dividends out. Got to get my dividends out. Look after yourself and thanks for the content, says Jim. And received a cancer diagnosis last Wednesday and can't imagine how I'd cope without the channel to take my mind off things, says Jimmy Garner. Hey, Jimmy, I'm sure everybody in the chat and obviously from myself, deep down, I feel like this community is family at times. And I hope that at different stages of our long and prosperous lives that I hope we all have, that we do cross paths and have a beer or a chat at a get together or whatever. But from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that cancer diagnosis is early and can be dealt with without any serious implications. So all the best for you, Jimmy, there. You're always going to get detractors. You're always going to get troublemakers. You're always going to get bitter people. You're always going to get jealous people. And that's just the way life is. And it took me a long time to get used to that. But one thing you need to focus on in life is the good. And we've got a really good community that's very focused on very passionate about what's important to them, very passionate about their opinions. And it's never hateful. I've got no hate or bad feeling towards any footballer, let alone a United player. But when it comes to Manchester United, I'm passionate about us being successful. And that's just what I am. In relation to Ronaldo, I cannot believe for the life of me that he's told the club he wants to go without having a club lined up. And if he has done that, I think he's done it to give the club a kick up the arse. I still firmly believe, and I've been saying it for weeks, so nobody can say I'm making this up. I always have firmly believed that Ronaldo has done this because he's fed up. He's pissed off with the lack of signings and the lack of ambition. Remember what was said last week. George Mendes and Ronaldo are very impressed with Richard Arnold's attempts to get them to stay at the club. I think we're moving towards Ronaldo staying. I can't put a percentage on it. I'm probably only 50-50, but I wasn't there last week. I think we're moving towards a chance that Ronaldo's going to stay. And I think the reason he's going to stay is because of the efforts the club are making to be ambitious. And to be fair, Lisandro Martinez, Christian Eriksen and Frenkie de Jong are a good start. If we get Antony as well, I don't think Ronaldo can really moan apart from another midfielder. So let's see what happens with Ronaldo. But I will say this, and I tweeted it earlier. For all those people who are saying, get out of my club, Ronaldo, for wanting to go, he wants to go because we're not ambitious, which is something all of you have said. So I'm a little confused why you want him out of the club because he wants us to be ambitious, because you want us to be ambitious. The second thing I would say is you're all desperate for Frenkie de Jong to sign. He doesn't even want to be here and he's never played here. Ronaldo is a legend here and also wants to leave because we're not where we should be. So, you know what I say? Screw your head on. I want Ronaldo to stay and I want de Jong to come because they're both better than most of the squad players we've got and I want us to be successful. And as much as I quite like the idea of some young player who's playing for the badge, Scott McTominay plays for the badge. He's nowhere near as good as Frenkie de Jong, who doesn't want to be here. Do I want to stick with McTominay just because he wants to play for the badge and say no to Frenkie de Jong just because he doesn't? No. I want de Jong to come to this club, realise what a great club we are, what an amazing support we are, and fall in love with it. I want to convince de Jong. I want him here because he's better than everything we've got. And I want Ronaldo to stay because, yes, he's ambitious and he wants to win things elsewhere, but he's also our best player. And if we can make him stay and make him happy to stay, we'll be a better team for it. Yeah, it's a little bit unideal. I'd love these players to be in love with United and desperate to come here, but we are a club on our knees. We are at the bottom of a shit barrel. And you are not going to get the Kimmiches or the Mbappes or the Haalands at the moment. And de Jong's in that category. And Ronaldo's in that category. And if we can keep that quality of player or get that quality of player at the club and they're unsure about being here, it's our job and Ten Hag's job to make sure that they want to be here. In an idealistic world, it's great to have McTominays and Freds and Maguires and Rashfords and because they want to be here. But are they as good as de Jong and Ronaldo? Does Pep Guardiola fill his team with, clones of Mika Richards who love the club and want to play for the shirt? Or does he go and buy Cancelos and De Bruyne's? Passion merchants won't win you the league. Passion merchants won't get you in the top 4. Passion merchants have their place in a squad, but we need actual talent. I don't want Ronaldo to go because he's our best player. I want de Jong to come whether he wants to come or not because he'll probably be one of our best players. But, that's just how I feel. How you feel is up to you. Malacia, Martinez, Frenkie de Jong and Eriksen, free out, enough. Have to sign a forward as well as a right back if we want to compete. I think we will get a right back, Amez. I don't think we'll get a second midfielder, but I think I do think we'll get a right back. Ryan, and I think it will be Dumfries, and I think Wan-Bissaka will leave. Ryan, welcome to Members Club. Stay strong, Jimmy Bridge, says Al Nasser. Which players are having their last chance this... I read that, Fred, as which players are having sex on tour. I don't know why I read that. There's no context. I'm tired. Which players are having their last chance this season, and do you think they realise how lucky they are? I hope they realise how lucky they are, Fred the Red. And I would say most of them are on their last chance. I don't think... if Bruno had a bad season, he could be gone. People will say, well, it's Rashford, it's Maguire, it's Luke Shaw. But it could also be... it's very unlikely, but it could be a Sancho. It could be a Bruno. I don't think it will be for 1 minute, but I think surely that's how we should be run. Nobody should be getting a free pass. We love you, Mike. Mark, have a pint on me. I thought you called me Mike Lee. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for tuning in. I know we're going to be live very soon because we're going to get Lisandro Martinez deal done, which is why I'm not doing FIFA career mode this afternoon. I'm just going to play a bit of Fall Guys, because if you're playing Fall Guys, you can stop the stream and go live. So I'm going to play a bit of Fall Guys on Twitch in a bit. In fact, I might open it up for other people to play. So join me on Twitch, Goldbridge TV. I'll be live in about 20 minutes on there. And we are waiting for this Lisandro Martinez deal done, which I did predict this morning would be sometime later in the afternoon. So let's wait and see. What's happening with Eriksen? And also, have you seen the article that we've been priced out of Antony? So Erik Ten Hag is being encouraged to use Martial, says Ranyik. I've spoken about it, Ranyik Shreds. I think it's a bloody joke. Martial cannot be a replacement for... Martial is many things, but he's not 4 people. He can't replace Cavani, the striker we needed to sign, and Antony. Martial's a good player, but he's a player that most of you wanted to sell. Malloy, welcome to the Members Club. Anyway, look, really enjoyed the show. Thanks everyone for your support as ever. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, because we will be going live as soon as we get this Lisandro Martinez done deal. I've got a whole speech ready. I can't wait, and I think it will be happening today. The plan for Martinez is that he will be on the tour as well, but we've got to get the deal done first. Let's wait for that, and I'll be live when it does happen. Speak to you all in a bit. You can join me on Twitch, Goldbridge TV. I'll be tweeting it out off Mark Goldbridge soon. Bit of Fall Guys and a bit of fun, bit of relaxation. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.